Well, hello, and a very happy spring equinox to you. Spring equinox, national holiday here in Japan, and I have to wonder, I think it's probably a holdover, or a leftover, or something they learned from the megalith people, who, in my opinion, erected all of these megaliths all over the world thousands of years ago, before the Japanese even came on the scene. Japanese archaeologists are a bit out of step with mainstream archaeology, and that's fine. That's really fine. I'm a bit out of step with everything. But what are their reasons? What are their reasons for dating work like this to 600, 700 AD when the rest of the world dates them to 3000, 4000, 5000 BC? I think I know why they do it, but I'll tell you that another time. I don't want to make enemies today. I want to make friends and just want to mark the spring equinox. It's nice to think about all the lost megaliths that must be lighting up all over Japan this morning. And come to think of it, maybe I should have visited our New Year stone this morning. Maybe it has some secrets that are unlocked on the equinox sunrise. I didn't think of it till now. Too late now. Please remind me in the autumn. Tell me to get my butt up there. And this morning, the sun came up right in line with that one line on our colossal solar calendar up on Mount Hiba, home of the Hibagon, Japanese Bigfoot. Right in exact line with that line. I wonder if anyone noticed. No human did, but I wonder if anyone did. I came down early this morning, past the old courthouse. They demolished the old courthouse, and they've built up a new insult to the eyes. It's a big, gray, boring block. It could almost be the next step on the path to justice, a prison designed to cause everyone who enters to lose all hope. But it doesn't even rise to brutalism. It's from the school of dullism. It's dull. It looks like the world headquarters of a ladies' undergarments maker. And across the road, another disappointment. They ripped down a lovely old house and shop that used to be here. It was one of those post-war, first-generation rebuildings that they're getting rare nowadays. But it had a real nice character, a definable character of place and time. And they'll probably build a stupid gray global dullest block here. But anyway, check out the castle stones that they had under that modest little wooden shop. Look at those long rectangular stones. I put my glasses on them for scale. Do they look familiar to you? They certainly do to me. Look like they came right out of yesterday's video at Fukuyama Castle. I mentioned that the old castle structures, along with 80% of the city, was destroyed in one night. Blown to smithereens, and those smithereens burned. August 8th, 1945. 2 days, only 2 days after the Hiroshima atomic bomb that destroyed that city and its castle. But Not the stone walls. The Hiroshima Castle stone walls survived the atomic blast. Those guys built to last. But it seems especially cruel somehow, you know. Fukuyama was swollen with refugees from Hiroshima the night the bombs fell. Talk about out of the atomic bomb into the firestorm. Corpse collection and disposal took a month. A month. Just imagine that. You try to imagine it, because I don't think I can. Everyone is homeless and hungry and working on corpse detail for a whole month. I wonder how many people survived the bombs and the fire only to go mad. I think I would go mad. At that time, until the war, Fukuyama Castle was much larger. Here is the old moat system, superimposed on a present-day map. Now, all of those moats were held together with great stone walls. I can't even imagine rebuilding. Rebuild with what? Rebuild for what? What's the point? But anyway, they managed to get started, and it looks like they started with castle stones, because that's what I see under all of the first-generation post-war houses and buildings. And it probably wasn't every man for himself. I don't know this, but knowing a little about the Japanese, I imagine it was done very orderly. Probably, I'm speculating, a certain number of stones was allotted to each surviving household, or so many stones for such a unit of area of land, or something like that. That would explain a lot. For example, why the most modest of post-war homes, like this one right here, if we peek over the back fence, are not only built on castle stones, granite castle stones, they have stones left over. And why the richest of the rich, the Buddhists, and they're rich because they sell and withhold entrance to Buddhist heaven. They sell it for big bucks. And they have stones too, but not as much as they could use and probably might like to have. Take this temple here. This wall has a castle stone foundation, but they didn't have enough granite blocks to build it up. And this concretized hill back here, it would look a lot better lined with castle stones. But the number of stones is finite, and they were shared out, dealt out, I think. This old mom and pop shop has some really big stone foundations. And back around the service door, Yep, very expensive, big granite blocks. This old warehouse is built on, a castle stone foundation, as is this ditch. This ditch is made out of castle stones, this gutter. And you never see, never you see second and third generation buildings or current new buildings built on granite block foundations. You just never see it. I'm sure these stones are going to be recycled. I I sure hope so. Hope they're not going to landfill. But they're going to be part of somebody's interior or garden as status symbols now, not going to be almost invisible foundations. Well, I love Fukuyama, love walking around and bicycling around. It's ugly as hell, but war is hell, and this city is an issue of war, so like mother, like daughter. You know, I've said before that to understand varmints, you have to understand a little about where they live. And that's no different for two-legged varmints. So, as you bicycle around this city, pay attention. Look at what's going on and try to work it back to understand it. That's interesting for me. Next video should either be weekly featured witness number 3 or a look at tiger mouths. I tried to do that last week, but I made a really big mistake. I told Camera Girl at dinner that we were going to the tiger mouth, and I explained to the wife and elder daughter what a tiger mouth is. And then Camera Girl refused to go. It was too scary sounding, so I didn't force her, of course. Now, the next day, I got smarter. I invited her to the Princess Gate. The Princess Gate. Rebranding it, you see. She was all into that. But the weather turned bad. It rained for 3 days, and we lost our chance. But anyway, I'll try to be back soon with Mr. Iori and his close encounter with the Hibagon, Japanese Bigfoot, and the Princess Gate. Tiger mouth. Mailbag. Beautiful sweater lady and I have been in daily correspondence. She is very excited about going up Mount Zhao, and we have set a date. April 3rd. Can't go next weekend because we'll be up in Jinseki seeding the spores of shiitake mushrooms. And, yes, looking for Hibagon stick structures. Because, you know, that's where I found my favorite stick structure. Right up there in Jinseki, where Hibagon was spotted several times. And that's right in the middle between Mount Hiba and the outskirts of Fukuyama. You'll remember Yamano. Yamano, the Hibagon was spotted around there. They called him Yamagon then. Yeah, stick structures. I found a butte up in Jinseki. Your game clerk knows what I'm talking about. Okay, see you again soon with Mr. Iori, or I'll meet you at the Tiger Mouth. I mean Princess Gate.